Be still and cool in thy own mind and spirit. I had a intense prayer experience at Pendle Hill where I clearly got the message that I had a role to play in doing and spreading knowledge of the Quaker faith, because it's so little known. And the message is that you have a role to play, and that it's important for the world right now, that the Quaker faith, it has important things for the world. Whereby thou wilt receive God's strength. Well, my name is Paulette Meier, and I live in Cincinnati, Ohio, and we're here at my meeting house, Community Friends Meeting in Cincinnati. I was the artist in residence at the Quaker Retreat Center outside of Philadelphia at Pendle Hill, where I had a chance to delve more deeply into the early Quaker history and writings. The next year, I went back to Philadelphia and was sojourning among friends, and it was challenging. I wanted to get my children's music out there and wanted to learn more about Quaker history and be in Philadelphia in the Quaker Mecca, and but it was challenging for me, and my spirits sank a lot, struggling with some isolation feelings even there. And so one day I picked up this quote from George Fox and said, I need to internalize this message, and the only way I know to memorize things is to put them to song. So I just ended up singing it. For if thou dost, it will feed thee more. But stand still and act not. I was really struck by the wisdom in these texts and how relevant they are today. Timeless Quaker Wisdom in Plain Song is a collection of 21 Quaker quotations that I happened to put to melody. Well, after I compiled this collection of quotations, I realized that there was sort of a group of 4 themes in them, and they seem to relate to what I see as the process of Quaker spiritual practice. Ye have no time but this present time. The first one is all about centering and entering into the stillness. Rex Ambler, this theologian from England, said in a class I took at Pendle Hill, said that Fox didn't tell people what to believe. He was very unusual at the time in that. He told people what to do. It was directives about being still and letting go of thoughts and letting go of preoccupations and centering. So that's the first theme. How to get there. When we should see the great Creator stare us in the face. Early Quakers talked so frequently about entering into the kingdom of heaven within, and they took that quote from Jesus about the kingdom of heaven is within you. And so when one arrives at that deep centered place, one experiences deep peace, deep healing, restoration into the image of the divine, and love, the eternal Christ spirit, which is love. And that's the second theme. Our life is tenderness and bearing with each other. That meeting in silence together fostered a tenderness for each other. Like the early Christians, I think, experienced this indwelling of spirit and this deep connection with each other that seemed to bring home this awareness that there's that of God in everyone. And it's so much easier to love when one is living in that awareness. May we look upon our treasure and try to discover whether the seeds of war. I think a lot of religious traditions may invite one into this centered space. of refreshment and everything. But I think the thing that I loved about the Quaker faith is that one can be centered but experience promptings of the Spirit to undertake action in the world and to witness to truth in the world. And I think this theme of outward witness is really so important to Quaker spiritual practice, and listening for where and how we are to do that outer witness in the world is really important. We are a people that follow after those things that make for peace, love, and unity. It is our desire that others' feet may walk in the same. We do deny and bear our testimony against all strife and wars and contention.